Alright, in this video we're going to look at integer subtraction rules. So you know that when we did integer addition, we found that there was a shortcut to using chips and number lines when we did integer addition, and there are rules for integer addition. So we're going to look at what could be the shortcut to doing integer subtraction. And we're going to use these equations to come up with what the rules are for integer subtraction. So let's look at the first problem. I have 3 minus 12 equals negative 9. That's a true statement. Can I write another equation to yield the same difference? Well, I can. What if I take 3 and I add a negative 12 to it? We already know how to do that math. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. 12 minus 3 would be 9, and it would be negative because there are more negatives than positives. So now let's look at the next problem. 7 minus negative 5 equals 12. Well, how could 7 and 5 equal 12 a different way? Well, what if I did 7 plus 5 equals 12? That gives me the same result. Let's look at negative 4 minus 6 equals negative 10. Well, how can negative 4 and negative 6 equal negative 10? What's another way of writing that? How about negative 4 plus negative 6 equals negative 10? We know how to do that. Same signs, add and keep. And then the last one, I have negative 2 minus negative 4 is equal to a positive 2. So how could I rewrite this so that when I add a negative 2 and a positive 4, I get a 2, and that would be negative 2 plus 4 would equal a 2. So notice what I did in each of these problems. I turned them from subtraction problems into addition problems. These are now all addition problems. So the first step I did was I turned subtraction to addition. And now let's look at the number that came after the subtraction sign. This was a positive 12, and now it's negative. This was a negative 5, and now it's positive. This was a positive 6, and now it's negative. This was a negative 4, and now it's positive. So the second thing I did was I made the second number the opposite. Now let's look at some examples. Okay, let's look at the integer subtraction rules. So, to subtract an integer, all you're going to do is add its opposite. So we've already talked about opposites. You know what an opposite is. And you're going to change your subtraction to addition. So if we look at our example, I have 3 minus 8. The first number stays the same. We're going to call that taboo. Taboo means you don't touch it. That subtraction now becomes an addition. And the opposite of a positive 8 is a negative 8. So now my expression is 3 plus negative 8, which you know how to do the addition rules. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5. Keep the sign of the higher number, negative. Now you'll be exact. So there are two mnemonics we use. One is the change subtraction to addition. So change subtraction to addition, and change the second number to its opposite. The opposite of a positive 8 is a negative 8. And I'm going to demonstrate superplus on the next page. Okay, let's look at applying our integer subtraction rules. And we'll start with this example, 4 minus 7. So what I'm going to do is change my subtraction to addition, and I'm going to change my positive 7 to the opposite, which is a negative 7. And now I'm going to use my integer addition rules. 4 plus a negative 7, different signs subtract. So 7 minus 4 is 3. Keep the sign of the higher number. My higher number, or bigger number, is negative 7. So we're going to put a negative 3. Let's do that same process to the bottom example. Negative 9 minus 5. I'm going to change subtraction to addition. And the opposite of a positive 5 is a negative 5. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Same signs, add and keep. So 9 plus 5 is 14. And keep the sign they share, which is negative. All right, let's try that with this example, 3 minus negative 2. Change subtraction to addition. And the opposite of a negative 2 is a positive 2. So now this becomes addition, and the opposite of a negative 2 is a positive 2. So now I'm just going to rewrite it as 3 plus 2, and we know 3 plus 2 is 5. So let me show you what super plus means. So in a situation where you have minus a negative, you can do super plus here. You can either do change if you want, or you can try out this super plus. And super plus basically says, connect these two negatives and make them a big plus. So now you have negative 6 plus positive 8, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, now you'll be exact. 8 minus 6 is 2. And it would be positive 2 because there's more positive numbers than negative numbers.